Hey YouTube, no Tim today, he's on holiday, so you got me, Dale, the head of marketing at Exposure Ninja. This is a no-cut teardown, so we're going to look at Rave Coffee's marketing, what they could be doing better, how they're earning traffic, all that jazz, and how you can learn from it as well. So let's dive right into the website. So this is Rave Coffee's website. They're a coffee roaster in the UK. They do whole bean, ground, blends. They do a subscription service as well. The website's pretty decent, and we're going to have a look at the website very quickly now, and then we'll look at how they could be earning traffic. So when you load onto a website, you've got some of the key features that we like to look for. So we have a 15% off offer by using their quiz. There's also a FIFO, or like a kind of like Trustpilot. There's lots of different variations. This is how they communicate like social proof that they should be trusted as well. And they also have a great USP in free UK track delivery with orders over £25. What I like about that is that some of the coffee packages can be about £18, so you only need to add like another pack, or you can order 3 or 4 different packs together, or bigger sizes, and you can very easily push over that £25 minimum spend. But when you go onto the website, sometimes with e-commerce it's hard to know whether you want to go with one singular thing that directs people to a category page or promotion that you're running, or something else where you want to just like put category buckets on. It's a whole bunch of options you can use. What I really like about this is that if you're new to coffee, you don't really know what you like, there's a quiz that you can take which also gets you 15% off your first order, and you can find out, hey, I've never really done filter coffee before, I've never really done espresso at home, which one's for me? And this helps you. Let's say I brew a V60 at home, which I do. Do I like to drink coffee black or with milk? I prefer it black. Decaf or not decaf? Got to get me some caffeine. Roast level. So this explains what the different roast levels mean. I really like this. If you're a new customer, you really don't know where to get started with coffee, this is quite brilliant. Really accessible. One question at a time, so you're not overwhelmed with a big long form. It's very, very good indeed. So let's say I'm into fruity flavored drinks, which I am. I prefer whole bean because I've got a nice grinder at home. So enter our mailing list. So let's just pop my email address in there and see what happens next. Right. Continue. I'm going to have a bespoke code sent to my email address, and these are the coffees they recommend for me. So rather than me arriving on the site looking for the category pages, what does single blend mean? Are some blends better than others? What does roast level mean? It helps me pick, it helps me find one that's right for me, my tastes, how I like my coffee, which is brilliant. So then I can immediately add it to the cart, or add them all if I'm feeling like, hey, let's try a couple of different things. I'm not still at this point. 3 recommendations. I'm still not sure. I can pick this and, get started with my coffee journey. So I really like that, because otherwise you normally have to go through coffee blends or single origin coffee. Where do I start? Is this the right one for me? Roast level 3 out of 5. What do I normally drink? Have I ever even thought about roast levels before? Maybe, maybe not. We've also got taste like as well, really interesting stuff, but again, I might not know where I'm starting. So for new customers, that's a really great system. In terms of the category pages themselves, really big images, plenty of information, and then I can learn more and do a quick ad. Got everything you really need to see here. You also got social proof, which is great too. Through to the actual product pages themselves, fairly decent. I'm not a big fan of this font. I find like it's not easily legible personally, and we can make some color choices to know really where my eye is supposed to be drawn to first, but it's fairly decent. One thing I do would recommend is to swap to just automatically have a subscribe and save. So as soon as somebody comes to add a coffee bag to their order, they're already seeing that they could get less money rather than having one-time delivery as the default. The product information's not great. We've got some tasting notes. There's so much more that could be in here. Great to see reviews, but I would love to be like dazzled by more information about what the coffee is, where it comes from, what's the best brewing method. Because you've got the grind options here: whole bean, cafetiere, Chemex, filter, espresso. How am I supposed to roast this? I know that when you place an order for a subscription, they send you a brewing guide. But if you're ordering just one-off bag, you're trying to decide if doing coffee at home is right for you, which a lot of people have been doing since the pandemic last couple of years. Can't believe it. I could do with so much more information here that would help me have a fantastic customer experience and then come back for buy my coffee from this company again. Now, it's not amazing on desktop. It's okay. There's a lot of information. You got pretty much everything you want to see about the fold. But I can kind of assume from looking through the website that this is probably supposed to be designed for mobile first. So looking at mobile first, it seems a bit more how I'd expect it. Like, you've got the FIFA reviews on the front page, got some testimonials, best-selling coffee. That's how I would design a homepage as well. And when we look at the category pages, it's a bit big, these images, but again, it's kind of the mobile experience I'd like to see. A little bit too much text. I want to maybe just get through to the product straight away. Or is this a product page already? This is best-selling coffee beans. I might already be on the coffee page itself. Let's go back. Let's go back to single bean blends. Okay, that's exactly the kind of experience I was seeing before on desktop. So yeah, pretty decent. I like the social proof. Images are clear, but I think we could definitely upgrade like some of these images. We could add more information, such as a short video, and replace these images with brew guide for V60, brew guide for Aeropress, brew guide for your espresso machine, and so on. So there's definitely an upgrade to this website that I could recommend here to just increase that conversion rate, I would say. In terms of earning traffic, now I do know they're using a couple of different channels, and I'm going to go through those all now with the 4 minutes I have left. So they're on TikTok. I know it's really easy to say they should be using TikTok because, it's the platform, but I really do believe so because I've seen other accounts using it well too. So I really like my coffee, so I use all these kind of different accounts. Rave could be doing more here. So they have some plays that to me it looks like they're still testing things out. They still need to kind of figure out how they're going to use the platform. They've got 417 plays here. 23 likes, not great. There's not much about this I feel like I wanted, this speaks to me, or, perhaps in July, when it was a heat wave, this would have gone over well. But I think there's just so much more exciting stuff that they could be doing. So, James Hoffman, who's a big, thought leader, if you want to say, a big coffee person who won a Barista Championships, several years ago, has a huge following across all these different channels. He's doing some really exciting stuff on camera, so I know this takes a little bit more commitment, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the case. So we have some huge numbers here, and they're doing really smart stuff. So if you are you're new to coffee, there's so many things you're going to question, like how to brew it properly, how to get the milk steamed properly, how to do latte art if you want to go to that level, because that's something that people really obsess about in coffee. This doesn't have to be complicated. You could just grab your phone, have somebody next to you, steaming their own milk. You do it all on TikTok in a 60-second video, and this could help so many people to not only learn how to make their own steam milk at home, if they have an espresso machine, of course, but also get to know that Rave Coffee is a great place to learn about coffee, but also to order their coffee from as well. So I would suggest that they need to look into how they upgrade their usage of TikTok. And there are lots of examples of how people are using it to, these are some of the most popular posts for the hashtag coffee, and some of these are super simple. This is not that dissimilar to what they're doing, but this channel has built up a profile by continually sharing coffee drinks and how they're made. So this has got 9.4 million 9.4 million likes on the video, which means that the views is going to be huge. This would not be complicated to set up in the corner of a warehouse if that's where Rave, do most of their business. It wouldn't be that difficult, and it's quite a nice video. It's quite engaging, it's entertaining, and people are using TikTok and video platforms like Instagram Reels to do that kind of thing. They want to be entertained. We got to crack on, otherwise we'll never finish. But yeah, you can see in here there are lots of interest in just how coffee is made, how to make it exciting. Some of these are really left field, and then there is a big departure from what real coffee is. But this is what people are engaging with. And this one, for example, is a tamper, I believe that's the word, where it basically flattens the coffee ready for when it's used with the espresso machine. And people are really into this. That's 2.8 million likes on this video. People dig this stuff, and it works on TikTok, it works on Instagram as well. So Rave Coffee's Instagram account, 16,000 followers, pretty decent. I imagine there's going to be at least some social ad boosting to that, boosting posts and what have you. But the actual posts themselves are not doing great. The engagement is really flat, not super high for the amount of followers that they have. I think it's because the content's just not exciting. So if you do look at some of the other accounts, like, there's some nice stuff to see here where people have been getting their qualifications. They do a bit of behind the scenes about who is working at Rave, which is fantastic. It's great to see who's putting all these orders together, who's choosing which coffees to sell. This image did quite well 5 weeks ago, so we're talking quite a while ago. But people would love to have a shelf full of coffee. So you're communicating to what people love or are interested in. They love coffee. They want to have as much coffee as possible, and they want coffee to be exciting and explained to them so they can do it at home. So that's what their account should be, and that's what a lot of other accounts are doing as well. So this account, 292,000 followers, and they also have a very successful YouTube channel and other places too, because they're constantly showing people how to do coffee well. So in this one, an affogato, very simple. It's just a dollop of ice cream with an espresso board on top. Super simple, but this has had 1,468 likes. People want to know how to do this stuff at home, and it doesn't take much in terms of like technical setup, using your phone again, or a lot of it's successful TikTok videos, successful Instagram reels. They're just on the phone. They don't have to be done on a computer necessarily. And here we go. It's super simple. Then I know how I can do that at home without too much complication, as long as I've got an espresso machine. So it's the same for other accounts as well. So this is Prometheus, who does the same thing. High quality imagery. People dig this kind of stuff, and it wouldn't take much for Rave to do this anyway, when I know that they do cupping and other things where their warehouse is too. So you could take like just high quality shots, show people how things are done, show interesting equipment, stuff that we can't have at home because it's expensive. Like, I know coffee is actually an expensive hobby to have. So if you can show people what you have within your equipment setup, within the warehouse, within your roastery, people really want to see that because they can't do it for themselves. So we got Dear Green, which is a roastery in Glasgow. They have a pretty decent following. They don't have a lot of engagement on the post. What I like about this is they're showing where the coffee is coming from. So they share like the social impact that their coffee has, and the countries that they do work with, or the farmers or farming communities they get their coffee from, and lots of behind the scenes. You can see exactly where the coffee's coming from, and why it's so important to work with farmers directly, why buying single origin coffee is so important, and things like that, which I absolutely love. And there's some, meet the company, meet the staff, meet the employees content in here as well, and that's getting engagement too. So yeah, there's so much more they could be doing. The barn, again, another example. They show like behind the scenes of what they're doing. There's a few here. So guess the flavor. There's this event you can come to. Then they do stories to earn engagement from people. Can you guess where this coffee is from? They're really adding to the atmosphere around coffee. They're showing you these places, and makes you think about it when you're drinking it. Sometimes you think about coffee as just like in a bag that you get through the post, or you pick up from the supermarket. They're adding to so much more sensory stuff to that by showing you where it's coming from, who grew it, and so on. Or they could go another way, like Dark Arts Coffee, which is a roastery in the UK, and I think it's UK and Japan. They dive into memes a lot, so free petrol here gets attention. This has got a lot of likes. It's close to 1,100 likes already. It's doing really well. And they do lots of memes and stuff here, but they also show behind the scenes teaching. Here's the team at an event. They do lots of new releases which are based around like memes or things that are happening in the world at the moment. We've got them playing on the Inspiration 4 launch, which happened just the other week. They know exactly what each audience of the social media network they're using is interested in, or how they behave. So don't just dump one piece of content onto another, try and tailor it. So they've dived into is it Drake who released an album? They dived into that, 600 likes on that image. you have to understand your audience, understand that there are going to be beginners, but also advanced people, and try and deliver content for that. And you can look at the hashtags. You can go simple, you can go complex, but overall you have to make it exciting, high quality images. There's a certain kind of filter that you have to use to make things really stand out, but people love to see this. So this is another thing, like user generated content. You could get people to make sure they include your hashtag or your tag you within their content, so you can then reshare it. So people love to see these coffee stations of you where people brew their coffee. I know this equipment costs a lot of money. So for me, it's like a FOMO kind of thing. I love to vicariously live good coffee or good quality stations by looking at them on Instagram. So my Instagram account is full of lots of different ways of making coffee. Their Facebook page, not really taking off as much, kind of similar content to what you see on the Instagram. So it's kind of copy paste. I'd love to, again, see more maybe user generated content, or how to make coffee, where the coffee comes from. There's so much more that we can earn through this Facebook page. I know like Facebook can be a little harder to earn that engagement with, but it doesn't mean we can't, earn something from that audience. Twitter, not really doing great things here. A little bit of engagement. They're shouting out some of their partnerships, but this is from February. They're really not utilizing this channel at all, which I find, I can understand why, because, coffee is a very visual, sensory thing. So that's why Instagram tends to do well. And now TikTok is doing well as well. But it doesn't mean you have to just abandon the channel altogether. So, I still use TikTok a lot, and I'd love to see more coffee in my timeline, but for whatever reason, I don't see as much as I would like. Square Mile, this is the same company as James Hoffman, the guy who was teaching us how to make how to make foam milk earlier. They get fairly decent engagement on some of their posts. It's not as high as their followers would suggest. That's where they've got their followers, is through James. But, you can get engagement by showing behind the scenes, telling people more about your coffee releases, what coffee cupping is. A look at coffee cupping is a fantastically fun experience. Not great on Twitter, but it doesn't look like everyone's doing great there either. In terms of Facebook ads, where they're going to be getting some of their traffic from, this is supposed to be a short video, by the way. It's supposed to be like under 10 minutes. These ads are just not doing it for me. If I'm scrolling through my feed, I don't want to be looking at text so much as I do images. Maybe that's just me, but these just do not scream out to me. I'm going to be scrolling past these. Like, cupping just sounds weird. Yeah, it does. But if I don't know what cupping is, I'm probably not going to click on it to find out. I could be wrong. Maybe this ad's really performing, but I think that if you were to use like user-generated content or more visual images, they probably get more engagement. Again, play to the strengths of the platform. So some of these are going to be coming through for Spotify. Some of these are going to be coming through for Facebook. That's good. They're showing a short testimonial, perfect every time. High star rating. This is good. 50% off your first box. Good copy there, but could we be doing more? I think so. I think we could be using really exciting images of the actual like coffee being brewed, the roastery process, all that kind of stuff. So again, this really depends on if you're getting the first time whole bean coffee customer or somebody who's been buying coffee for a long time. But either way, I think you could definitely mix it up and put, not just coffee bean, but people want to see coffee being created as well. So in terms of like how they're getting their search traffic, they're actually doing pretty well. So I don't know if you can see, because I got myself in the corner here. Their traffic has been increasing over the past this past year, since January onwards. So from February, March, traffic started to go up, which is fantastic. So you always want to be getting all that search traffic. Search traffic is the best traffic in my opinion. And they've been getting it for, I'll just show you now. The kinds of header terms, those like really important phrases that you want to be appearing for. So buy coffee online, buy whole bean coffee. So if I can just show you now, their positions are barista kit, that's good. But the search volume is nowhere near as high as coffee bean online. 2,400 people. You're at the top of there, number one on Google search. That's the perfect place to be. So doing great here. A fresh roast coffee beans, fresh roasted coffee, buy fresh coffee beans, super. Like the search volume's not great on that one, but that's exactly the position you want to be. First position. And they're also getting some traffic for their informational content. So before you get to I want to buy coffee, you got to go through, I want to know how to brew it. How do I brew it at home? Can I brew it at home as well? How do I make a flat white at home, it might be one of the first searches I do before I even start buying coffee, you want to be appearing for those kinds of phrases as well. So they have some here. They've got Chemex versus V60 informational content. There, some of their blogs are appearing, like best water for coffee. Water is a complicated subject when it comes to coffee. Home coffee roasting. You want to have your informational content appearing there, and it is. But I think they could be doing more there. So if I search for Aeropress, you can see where some of their blog posts or guides have started to earn them some traffic. So we've got brewing guides, how to make the best Aeropress at home. I think that is perfect Aeropress coffee. Those are the kinds of pages you want people to be coming to on your website. So can I open this up and show you? Let's have a look. All right, so how to brew Aeropress coffee. So Aeropress, very popular method of making coffee at home. It's kind of like somewhere between espresso and filter coffee and French press, but not. It's complicated, but a very good method. This is great. It's clearly earning traffic for them. It doesn't look like it's loading very well for me, so it looks like some images missing. But I think preferably you want to show people a video here. So good that you're getting that ranking position, but this isn't working for me. I need something visual, well, like images at work, but also like somebody walking me through it. So record a video. Doesn't have to be a complicated setup. You know, somebody has an iPhone, the quality's great. Just record it and just pop it onto YouTube and embed it into this post. But it's great that they're trying to drive people to buy the products that are featured here or related to this. So you can buy your Aeropress here if you need to, your brew guide. This is super. That's exactly what you want to be trying to do in terms of the blog content. It needs to be improved to make it a bit easier to read. Now, it may be that, again, a lot of traffic is coming through mobile. So this definitely looks better on mobile, but don't expect that every person is operating on mobile. That you have to make sure your website looks great on mobile and desktop. Okay. So before we end this really long video, I just want to cover YouTube. So again, we're talking video content with TikTok. We're talking video content with Instagram Reels, Instagram regular stories and posts and stuff like that. YouTube is a great place to be as well. They've got 32 subscribers on YouTube. Not great. What they could be doing is the same to Alternative Brewing, who we covered previously. Not this one. Here we go. Alternative Brewing. Huge following. So some of that is going to come across if you promote your YouTube channel. But yeah, you could be doing stuff like this. This is like behind the scenes or product reviews. They go through every kind of like machine that they can get their hands on. They borrow it, review it, send it on to the next person, or send it back to the company that shares it with you, or how to pour latte art. All the kind of same stuff that we've seen on social, just put here. So when people are going onto YouTube and searching how to steam milk, you want to see that your video is top. So James is here with his milk steaming video that we saw on TikTok already. So yeah, even if your coffee company, roastery, doesn't have a complicated setup for recording videos, it's better to have something on there than it is to have nothing. And if you get a little bit of movement from that basic video, you can then come back, create better videos, bigger videos. In fact, if you go to James's videos, which we can do here, he's got a fantastic YouTube channel, close to 1 million subscribers. Not to be surprised because he's doing really interesting stuff. If I go back to the very beginning, not great. I mean, he's got a big personality, so people have been following him because he's been a barista champion. But the quality was not great, but over time it's got better. So it's better to put something out there than to have nothing out there at all. And you can see by the kind of the most popular videos what people want to see. So you can do this. This is a little bit of a hack, I suppose you can call it. Go to all the popular coffee company channels or coffee roaster channels, barista channels, sort by most popular and start working through these lists of what the people are interested in. So how to make a French press, how to make a cappuccino without a machine, how to do a V60, how to make Dalgona coffee, all this kind of stuff. And you see, here we go. European coffee trip. They go around and try lots of different coffees, but also to cover how to make coffee, which is the best. I'll show you. They got 157,000 subscribers, and the videos that do, here we go. How to make latte art. Lots and lots of views. But they talk about how to do Aeropress, how to make coffee with a mocha pot, how to make iced coffee. Like, just think about the kinds of searches that people would do on Google, create a video for it, and upload it to your channel. We also got, let's just unsuspend that. We've got Roasty, who cover like coffee. Sorry. We got Roasty, so they cover like informational content. They're basically an affiliate site where they direct you to Amazon to buy coffee equipment or to specific coffee roasters. They do the same kind of thing, like how to make this type of coffee, how to make this type of coffee, how to make this type of coffee. Like, there are lots of ideas that people are looking for, like variations on coffee or popular coffee recipes, like flat whites. People love pumpkin spice latte. People want to know how to make that from home. Create a video on how to do it. Now, that might be the departure from filter and whole bean coffee, what have you, but that's what people are looking for. So add it to your YouTube channel. And yeah, James is doing great things. If you search for Aeropress, there are lots of videos. James has 617,000 views on how to make an Aeropress. There are a whole bunch here. They're from 6 years ago. 1.3 million people have watched a video on how to make an Aeropress. People want to know this. Record a video on how to do it and make sure it's accessible. Let's just unfreeze these before we end. Yeah, we've got Prometheus again, who we covered the, where are they? Prometheus. Interesting coffee shots. They do exactly the same kind of thing on their YouTube channel. Really high quality. And they just talk about brewing methods, how to improve your espresso shots, what equipment to have, and what have you. And then you got to think about, like, what are people saying about Rave coffee as well. So search for Rave coffee on Twitter, on Instagram, see what people are saying, see how you can improve that message. So speak to influencers in the coffee space, whichever network they use, and make sure that you are working with them collaboratively to show people what Rave coffee is like, what the roast like, what's the latest release like, what's the subscription like, all that kind of stuff. You want to make sure that when other people are talking about you, they're talking favorably, hopefully, and you do that by offering them the best possible experience. 27 minutes in, and this is supposed to be an under 10-minute video. I've broken my own rule, but hopefully that's been useful to you and you'll be able to pick something out of that for your own marketing. If you're not sure where to start, you can go to exposureninja.com/review and you can, let's bring me back up. Yeah, exposureninja.com/review, and you can request a review, and we'll tell you exactly how we'd improve your marketing, improve your website, increase your search traffic, your social traffic, you name it, we'll help you with it. So go to exposureninja.com/review and drop your details there. Thanks. Bye.